If you're waiting in anticipation for the HBO adaptation of The Last of Us, there are a whole bunch of shows you can watch in the meantime, and they all have dystopian dark themes and similar vibes. In this video, we'll be looking at The Last of Us, where it originated, and the shows that will keep you satisfied until its release. Keep watching. First up, how The Last of Us became the best PlayStation game of all time. Naughty Dog took the world by storm with The Last of Us. The game takes place 2 decades after the outbreak of a virus that threw the United States into martial law and a wasteland of the horrendously infected. A hardened smuggler finds himself the unintended warden of a teenage girl who could possibly hold the answer to all the world's problems, and thus he sets out on a cross-country journey with his unique cargo. The sequel to the game, The Last of Us Part 2, was highly anticipated and eventually released in 2020. While this did quench the player's thirst for more Last of Us action, the news that an HBO series based on the hit franchise is in development further upped the hype. The whole vibe of the game is dark and dystopian, so while there is no confirmed premiere date for the television show yet, there are plenty of shows that will get fans into the mood in the meantime. While the excitement for the television series is at an all-time high, many skeptics wonder if the transformation of one of the best games ever developed into a TV show may turn out to be detrimental to the legacy of the gaming experience. The current creative director and vice president of Naughty Dog, Neil Druckmann, is the developer behind The Last of Us. He wrote and co-directed the first game, and co-wrote and co-directed the second. Out of the starting gate, this means he knows everything there is to know about The Last of Us, and how the denizens could and would act. He's working closely with Craig Mazin to develop the television show, so it's more than safe to assume the whole project is in safe hands. When the project was being developed, the estimated release date was somewhere in 2021, but then COVID-19 happened, and everything was upended. As of now, the release has now been scheduled for January 2023. While you wait, it will be worth your while checking these series out. They'll set the scene and mood, and keep you satisfied until shortly after the new year. The Snowpiercer is based on a graphic novel, and it will keep you glued to your seat. We're gonna tell you all about it in a few moments. Keep watching. To start, check out The Mist. This one is straight from the mind and pen of Stephen King. It's set in a little town called Bridgeville in Maine, and the story, based on King's 1980 novella of the same name, starts when a strange mist settles over the town. The town is enveloped by an ominous vapor that has all kinds of terrifying monsters residing in it. The survivors in the town have to protect themselves against unknown dangers, but also, in typically King fashion, against the people that are stuck in the town with them. The whole story is one of a crumbling society, untrustworthy survivors, and deadly creatures. These topics will already be familiar to any The Last of Us fan. Sadly, The Mist was cancelled after only being on air for a single season. Then, Snowpiercer. This is one post-apocalyptic drama that has manifested into multiple media platforms. It started as a French graphic novel called Les Transpersonages. From here, it morphed into a film, Snowpiercer. Finally, it was adapted into a television series, still retaining the same name. The setting is Earth. 7 years after it becomes a frozen wasteland, it's too cold for human survival. The only humans left on the planet are forced to live on an always moving train that travels the globe without stopping. The inhabitants are in complete survival mode. They're starving, watched and controlled by classist authority, and always turning on each other. Again, these are themes The Last of Us fans will be familiar with. With 11 seasons done and dusted, The Walking Dead needs no introduction. It turned out to be one of the most watchable and entertaining cable network series of all time. The story follows an eclectic ensemble of characters struggling to survive in a zombie-infested post-apocalyptic world. Threats are not only from the undead, but also from other groups of survivors. No one can be trusted. The Walking Dead is based on Robert Kirkman's popular comic series. Themes like survival, the endless search for a cure, and found family will enthrall The Last of Us fans. This AMC series is certainly worth a try, and you won't run out of viewing material. There are more than 100 episodes to binge and 2 spin-offs in various stages of completion. If anime is your poison instead of live action, there is a series that'll be right up your alley. Keep watching for more on Attack on Titan. That's coming up shortly. Don't go away. Also, look for The 100. Cass Morgan wrote the young adult novels this series is based on. Earth is uninhabitable because of nuclear Armageddon. The remaining humans now live on a space station called the Ark. A century after the devastating nuclear events, it's decided that a coterie of juvenile delinquents will be sent back to the desolate home planet to find out if humans could ever return. This series ran for 7 seasons and ended in the middle of 2020. If you're a post-apocalyptic zombie fan, Z Nation is also worth your attention. There are a couple of zombie series on the list to watch while you wait for The Last of Us. Us, simply because the theme material is so apt. Just imagine, hordes of roaming vicious infected and a desperate struggle to survive. Sound familiar? Z Nation is a fun ride across familiar territory for any The Last of Us fan. What makes Z Nation different is that it's positioned as a black comedy, more than a pure drama. The setting is a couple of years after the outbreak of the zombie apocalypse. Only one person has ever survived this infection. He may well be the only hope for a save-the-world vaccine and travels from New York to California with a diverse group. This series was on the air from 2014 to 2018. It was a Sci-Fi Channel offering and has a total of 5 seasons for you to binge on. The Purge has a fascinating premise. Crime rates are shooting up. The new founding fathers of America are eager to find a quick fix. In their dubious wisdom, they mandate that all crime, including murder, is legal once a year. Although the series is not post-apocalyptic, it explores all kinds of themes from multiple perspectives. USA Network ran the show for 2 seasons before it was canceled. To see which Stephen King adaptation rounds out our list, keep watching until the end. Then, Attack on Titan should keep you entertained too. An ancient race of man-eating creatures takes over humanity. 100 years after the fact, a young man commits to ridding the world of their terrifying regime. The setting is completely dystopian, and survivors fight monsters and struggle against final extinction. All the while, the hope of defeating the Titans could be in a character's blood. If you're into The Last of Us and you prefer your television entertainment to be anime instead of live action, this one is for you. Attack on Titan is in its 4th and final season. 12 Monkeys started life as a science fiction thriller back in 1955. The story tells of a time traveler who returns in time from a post-apocalyptic future to attempt to save the world. The future the time traveler hails from is harrowing. A virus has left humanity on the brink of extinction. There is one last shot for mankind to survive. 12 Monkeys made its debut on the Sci-Fi Channel in 2014 and ran for 4 seasons. And without giving anything away, this series had a truly climactic ending. You should also give The Walking Dead World Beyond a try, especially if you're one of the fans who love to watch Ellie traverse an apocalyptic USA while being a badass and killing the infected. World Beyond is action-packed, and this drama follows a collection of sheltered teenagers traveling miles through eerie ghost towns and infested cities. They fight for their lives as they keep their primary mission in mind, to save a father and maybe forge a new family with one another while they're traveling. World Beyond ran for 1 season only and was specifically produced to fill in blanks from the original Walking Dead series. It's also set to lead the way for the reintroduction of a fan favorite, the presumed dead Rick Grimes. And finally, another Stephen King cult classic, The Stand. The theme and setting of this King classic is a man-made plague that has killed 99% of the human population, a post-apocalyptic world, and a handful of immune survivors that band together. Enter a false, dangerous messiah who introduces himself to the band of survivors and starts the run-up to a war of biblical proportions. Big names appear on the credits of this CBS miniseries, including Alexander Skarsgård, Whoopi Goldberg, and James Marsden. You'll find it on CBS All Access. And with that, that's a wrap for this video. Don't forget to hit the like and share buttons, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Got the keys. Let's go.